Hello, Crafty Nita here, and I wanted to show you my new mouse house. I made it out of an oatmeal box and an Ovaltine can and put it on a base. It was just a scrap piece that I'd already cut for something else, and so hubby just cut off the back for me so it didn't stick out too much. And as you can see, I got little windows in. Added moss to the base. The whole outside is covered with that packaging paper. They send things in the mail. It's just looks like brown paper sack. Anyway, it worked really well to make bark. I put a floor in about halfway up. I painted the lid just a creamy color. I used some string, some glue, and just some marker just to give me some texture of like the end of a log with the tree rings. I also used a plastic funnel. I painted it first to look like it was like a galvanized metal or something, or tin, and I didn't like the cool tone, so then I switched to copper, which was a little too orange, so then I went with bronze over the top of that. And between all of that and the addition of my verdigris green paint, kind of just mixed up some white and green and a little bit of blue, and it looks really copper, at least to me. And then I needed a stopper for the top and just used a stick from my yard. Made a little leaf banner, just cut out some little leaves from pictures I got online. Found a ladder at the thrift store in the toy section, 25 cents, and painted it. Anyway, I'm going to introduce you to Hyacinth Bouquet. If you know, you know. And she is very house proud. She came with the little key on her. She was also in the toy section for a quarter, and I just thought she was just so sweet that she needed a house. I made a little apron for her from a doll baby bib. Cut it down a bit. Anyway, she fits in here pretty nicely. She doesn't mind it being snug. She's known for her generosity and her sweetness, and she always has a spare chair and some extra victuals to share. And this basket was broken, and I just put a bow at the top where the break was. I used spools, and there's a cork spool back there. I'm gonna have to try to move this a little bit so you can see it. A spool with a piece of wood round on top. Susan from My Mini Madness sent me some Happy Mail, and I used a few things from her. I'm going to put a light through. You can see that the lid kind of glows. I like that. I love the color. I just used a creamy color for the walls on the inside after I paper mache'd with Mod Podge and some more of that packaging paper just to strengthen my box a little. I used this cut from a Silver Dollar City bag. It says something about soap as decor, and I have a bottle cap over here for the other side, and acorn caps for my bowls. Now this yellow daisy fabric, my mama made me a skirt and a shawl back in the day. Now that would have been in the late 70s. Yeah, a long time ago. And that little curtain back there I made for another diorama or room box, and took it out and had it just in my stash, and it works perfectly here. And come down. The rug is from a tea towel we got when we got married, 1980s, so it was old and pretty shabby, but I love the colors in it. It had peaches with little blossoms, and it was just perfect. You can see here is her living room. I have a little chair here that I got from the toy section again. And I cut its legs down because it was rather tall, and I completely covered it with an upholstery sample. And I had some more spools. Let me see if I can get this to light in here so you can see it. So I made a little table. She's got her record player. And we have, let's see if I can get this light in here really good, piece of curtain fabric that was my yellow curtains from eons ago. And I hung that. It's really sheer and the same colors. It's almost like you can't see it back there, but it looks really pretty. And then an image I found online. Used sticks from my yard to frame it. Of course, she doesn't need music. She has the sounds of nature. But it was a knick-knack she couldn't resist. When she went to the dump, she likes to go to the dump and go shopping. Now, Susan from My Mini Man has sent me some fabric. And this kind of looked like burlap, so I just wrote on it that it was stone ground flour, 20 pounds or something, and put that in here. And then this little piece of stump is actually from Dollar Tree, a package of wood. Now the umbrella, I had cut so many pieces off of it, it wasn't a complete umbrella, but I just glued it closed and put a stick in it for a handle, and she's quite happy with it. She feels fancy. And up here on the shelf, I'm going to try to get this where you can see it, not jostle too much, is a little piece of wood that looked just like a chicken. So I made a shelf and put it on there, and an empty snail shell. That's the kind of things she would collect. Now, the next spot, we'll move on past her. She wants to show you her whole house. She's quite proud of her little cozy bedroom, and it's a little darker than the other rooms and a little smaller. She found an odd earring and put that there. And there's the bed. Now the bed is just a Dollar Tree bed that I stained with some markers and used some scraps of fabric to cover, leaving it a little ratty-tatty. Yellow is my theme. Now this little rug I got somewhere, it was already hemmed, just a piece of fabric, so I just glued it in. Had it for a long time. And the curtains are also part of that tea towel. Just perfect colors. And again, got a spool here for a side table and a little lamp knick-knack. She sees fine in the dark, so she really doesn't need a light. There's a little picture on the wall of a mouse. I don't know if you can see it. I'm trying to get the light in there so you can see. And then this little cuckoo clock. It was damaged and I repaired it and painted it and added another weight to the one side, and I think it turned out really cute. I used sticks for my curtain rods. There's a little hat. Used a stick to hang it by, and her little kerchief. She can use it on her head or around her neck, her shoulders. Added the flower to the hat and a scrap of yellow fabric. Anyway, she's just really snug and cozy in her little house. And I just think it turned out adorable. And the big pieces I didn't glue in. Other pieces I did. They kind of wobble, but they at least will stay put if I have to move it. And she fits just fine in here. I checked it out and made sure she could fit. And she's kind of a round little mouse. And you can see that she does fit in here. She's just kind of snug. And I can take this lid off if I need to. And she loves sitting here, listening to the sounds of nature, looking at the beautiful home she has, welcoming her neighbors in for a snack. She just loves her little cozy home. Anyway, thanks for coming for the tour. I hope you have a blessed day. Bye-bye.